Yep, yep. Hello. I'm guessing you're here for the
Hi, oh my
Survivor
God.
audition.
Hello, hello. Hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a huge fan. I'm like your number one fan. I'm your number one fan. I'm so excited to be here. I've watched Survivor my whole life. Oh my gosh, hello. It's so
Okay.
nice to
If
meet you.
you
Hi,
would just
hi.
just take a spot here in front of the camera. If you look to your right, just make sure you're in frame of the camera on your right as well.
I'm
There
such
you go.
I'm such a huge fan. I'm like, it's something.
I
Hi.
appreciate the
Hi.
excitement. That is good. I can tell you know, I am Noble. I'm the one you've been in contact with and the host of
Yes.
VR Survivor. So go ahead and tell
Hi,
us
Noble.
your name, a little
Hi.
bit about yourself, and why you're here to audition for VR Survivor.
Okay, well, hi. My name is Ashlyn. I'm 25 years old. I was born in Ireland. We moved to Australia with my parents when I was 3. It's been my dream my whole life to be an actress. I moved to LA 5 years ago to pursue that. Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. I can't believe I'm here. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, and so I'm here at Survivor to um, s up my social standing sort of thing because my auditions they don't go too well. So um so yeah, I'm hoping to get my name out here with. Oh, it's been my dream to be in Survivor my whole life. Yeah, I love you so much.
Okay,
I'm
I
sorry.
do appreciate the enthusiasm. So, as I'm assuming you've
I'm
probably
such a fan. Oh my God,
seen
I can't believe I'm here. See, I can see you. I'm sorry.
you've
I'm sorry. I'm
probably
sorry.
seen previous seasons. So, as you'll know, Survivor is a
Yeah, all of them. All of them.
very big physical
Yeah,
game, but it also has a
yeah,
very big
yeah,
social game to it as well. What is something you feel you can
yeah.
bring
Indeed.
into this competition that'll set you apart from everybody else?
Oh, being part of the LA scene, I'm social butterfly. I'm always out there schmoozing with the big names and whatnot, and I feel as though I can get along with the teammates real easy. Like, and oh my God, it's really you. Oh no. Okay. But yeah, so I'm sorry. Yeah, so I feel as though I can bring a friendly atmosphere to with everybody.
Okay, fair enough. Now, of course, aside from the monetary value that is $1 million in winning,
Yeah,
the title of Lone Survivor, what is your
yeah.
biggest motivating factor to go into this competition and come out on top?
Well, the money would be handy. I know you said aside from the money, but the money's kind of one of my biggest motivators because I'd like to use that to um, try and make myself seem more A-list, you know, glam up a bit and whatnot. And like, if I was to win, oh my gosh, if I was to win, my first thing I would want to do, I want to take you on a date because I'm like your number one fan, and so that'd be really like that'd be just like ultimate. That'd be great. But yeah, mainly like to get my name out there, really, for all my auditioning and my actress career and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Oh
winning
my
the
God, I can't believe I'm really
competition
here.
does gain you a bit of notoriety. What you do with that notoriety is completely up to you,
Yeah.
though, as we've seen from last season's winner, who's completely fallen off the map. I'm guessing, but
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
so as we discussed a little bit earlier, there is the physical side of the game,
Hmm.
and there's also, of
Yeah.
course, the social game.
Yeah.
We'll touch on the physical game for a
Yes.
second, because growing up in
Okay. Yeah.
LA, as you said, I'm sure there's
Well, no.
definitely.
I didn't grow up in LA. I moved here when I was 5. I grew up in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So then that changes things a bit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means that growing up in
Yeah.
Australia, you might be a little more
Yeah.
used to being out more, a little bit without the necessarily
Yeah. My family.
conveniences of life, the comforts of life, and stuff like that. How do you feel
Yeah.
you
Well, my
can?
family and I always went camping all the time. So like surviving out in the wild, my dad taught me all the techniques and stuff that I need to do that sort of stuff. So there is that. Yeah. So yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm really here. So it's you. I'm in
Okay,
Survivor.
we'll
Well, I'm
we'll
auditioning
touch
anyways, but we'll see.
we'll touch on the
Oh,
other
sorry. I'm
side as
sorry.
well. So the social game, it
Yeah.
definitely is going to put
Yes.
you in some uncomfortable situations that aren't exactly easy to deal with. You'll have to make promises you might not be able to keep. You'll have to make alliances with people that you probably don't really get along with too well. But it's all about whatever takes you to the next day in this game, because in a moment's note or in a moment's glance, everything can change and you can be up on the eviction block. So, how do you think
Mhm.
you can adapt to that, and what do you feel you can use to your advantage that'll help
Oh,
you further your
honey,
game?
honey, honey. I've been part of the movie scene for the last 5 years. I know how to shake my hand with a smile in front of someone's face and then stab them in the back on the same time, you know. So I'm all good with like, doing what I need to do to get where I need to be. There's no problems for me. It's
Okay.
part and parcel of the industry, really. Oh my god, I'm
Okay.
such a fan. God, I want to give you a hug. Okay,
So
okay, I'm sorry.
we'll touch a little bit on just because
Excuse
a
me,
lot of
I'm
people's
just asking for a hug. I'm not touching.
easy,
Okay,
easy.
sorry.
We'll talk a little bit about the fact that first impressions are
Okay,
everything,
yes.
and of course
Yeah,
your first impression is one of you're a girl from LA, you're an aspiring actress, stuff like that. Something that people will probably see is
yes.
something they can very much manipulate and take advantage of. Is that something you plan to use to your advantage, or something that you plan to let everybody know that that's not the kind of person that you are in this?
I'll take it as case by case, person by person. We'll see how they play it out and, observe them for a little while and then sort of flip their game kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my god.
So as we've
Really you?
obviously noticed, you've been one of the more enthused auditions that we've had this season. Uh, what ex- what exactly, in the grand scheme of things, because of course this is in all aspects of it just a TV show. Of course, there is the
Yes,
monetary grand prize, stuff like that. What does it
yes.
mean to you as it is in your life to be a part of a competition like this? Just the experience itself, not necessarily winning, not necessarily, if you go home day one, but just the experience of competing in this itself.
The experience, well, it'd be good to put on my resume that, the whole team building, working with teams and things like that, team player, while also being able to look after number one at the same time, which is kind of needed in the industry, to make it as well. So I'm hoping that this experience will give me more. Well, because like MIK, I'm not gonna lie, I've been auditioning for movies for like the last 5 years, and I've yet to be in one. They've always like declined me for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, I just feel as though the experience will give me some on-set experience to work in front of cameras and like with teams and other people and stuff.
Well, I can only imagine why somebody wouldn't want somebody as enthused as you. But I believe that's all the questions that we have at this time. Is there any questions that you have for us as far as something you may not be clear about, how
Hmm.
things may work, anything that you aren't sure about at the time?
Yeah. I do have one question. If I don't win, or even if I do, will you go on a date with me anyways, regardless? Because, like, I'm your number one fan, and, like, that'd just be, like, that'd make my day. It'd be
Um,
on my live stream. On the stream.
I think that's something that we'll we'll discuss more maybe at a later date. But as far as right
Okay, fair,
now,
fair.
we do
Yeah,
thank you for
people are
your
watching. I
time.
get it, I get it.
We'll
Yeah.
we will be in
Okay,
touch
no
about
problems.
your participation or not participation very soon. But as for right now,
Okay,
we thank you for your time. You
okay.
may enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh my god, it was so good to meet you. Let's give
I
you a
know
hug.
touching is probably not the
Oh my
best
god,
idea at
you
the time.
got
What the fuck just happened? I got touched.